Hi guys, Mark here for KetoKitchenCollection.com, the home of the dynamic keto meal plan, and today's video is about the top 5 keto diet supplements that you can take to get maximum results and maximum weight loss. So the approach I take with regards to supplements, it's a two-pronged approach. First of all, you want to stay healthy. That's something that's top of mind. You want to stay healthy and you want to stay comfortable on the diet. So why is that important? The reason the diet works primarily is because you simply stay on it for the longest. If you're comfortable on the diet, you're going to stay on it. If you're not comfortable on the diet, you're going to fall off the diet. It's that simple. It's the same for me, and I would say it's probably the same for almost 100% of you guys out there. There's very few people out there who have the iron will to just stay on a diet they hate and just see it through to the bitter end. Okay, so the other aspect is, will these supplements actually accelerate the fat loss, the weight loss? Well, specifically the fat loss. Okay, so we'll come at it from both perspectives, and let's dive right in. The first one we're going to talk about is electrolytes. Now, electrolytes are nutrients in our body that help our nervous system and help our cells do what they do. When you're on a keto diet, you're deficient in electrolytes to a degree unless you supplement with them. That more often than not, you will have some kind of a deficiency because of the lack of carbohydrates in your system, which causes a lack of water in your system, which is not always good. So you do want to drink more water on a keto diet. That's not one of the supplements I'm going to suggest, of course. That's just what you need to do as a human being, is drink water. But when you lose water on a keto diet, it will help, or it will cause electrolytes to be flushed out with that water, which is not good. So with electrolytes, we're talking potassium, sodium, magnesium, and perhaps to a degree calcium, and there's 3 or 4 others as well that aren't such a big deal. But what I do to supplement with those is, for potassium, I'll take cream of tartar. Now, from memory, about 1/3 of the weight of the cream of tartar is potassium in some form. I think it might be, let's see, it could be hydrochloride. Potassium chloride, I think, is what's in cream of tartar. The type doesn't really matter too much. Don't get too stressed about that. The cream of tartar is a powder. This is Mackenzie's brand, which we have in Australia. Doesn't matter what brand you get, guys. I'm not loyal to any particular one. I put maybe 3 grams, perhaps 4, in typically just in water, maybe with a slice of lemon juice, or of fresh lemon with the juice squeezed in, and just drink it straight down like that. It's not the best tasting stuff. It's not the worst tasting stuff. You just take it and that's it. The other thing that I use is called light salt. This is what it's called in Australia. I'm actually not sure if you can get this outside of Australia, but it's salt that has reduced sodium, but to make up for it, they've added potassium. So in this particular one, for every, well, of course it's salt, it's a powder. In that powder, 27% of it is potassium and 18% of it is sodium. Okay, so I would take, again, maybe 2 or 3 grams of this, not together, and I'll tell you why in a moment, but I would take 2 or 3 grams of this, again, just in water, maybe with a little bit of fresh lemon juice squeezed in. If you're just going to take the one that has the potassium in it, I would suggest putting some salt with it. Not necessarily like the iodized table salt. Get the pink Himalayan salt or sea salt, because it's got a better nutrient profile, better minerals and so forth in it. Why would you not take these two together? If you have too much potassium, it's not good. Now, typically, people need around, on average, about 4 grams of potassium a day, which you typically do get a lot of in the food you eat, including on a keto diet. If you have too much potassium, and this is why you can't buy specific potassium supplements over the counter or off the shelf, at least you can't in Australia, you will die. Too much potassium will kill you dead very quickly, okay? Take heed. Don't have too much potassium. If you're worried, don't have these. If you want to have a little bit, well, if you can have a little bit, and you'll most likely be completely fine, but don't go nuts on it, guys, please, okay? Now, with regards to magnesium, I simply take a magnesium tablet. It's nice and easy. It's not too expensive. Get it from the supermarket or, grocery store or your chemist. Keto supplement number 2 is fiber. You don't get a lot of fiber on the keto diet. It's that simple. And if you don't have a lot of fiber in your diet, you simply don't poo. Now, I've done a complete video on that particular problem. You can find it if you search for that. Just search for I can't poo and you'll probably find it comes up. I'll link it below as well. If you can't poo, you're not going to be happy. You're not going to want to keep eating the things you're eating that are causing you to not be able to poo. So you're going to fall off the diet. I know that when I started doing the keto diet and I was in that situation and I thought, well, you know, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself through this hell? What can I do to fix this? And you can eat, you know, avocados and to some degree nuts and green leafy vegetables and get that fiber, but I found it wasn't enough for me. I needed a fiber supplement, okay? This one is psyllium husk. That's the primary ingredient in it. Psyllium husk is fantastic for fiber, and it will, you know, it'll clear out the pipes very, very well. Just have a little bit with each meal, or maybe have it once a day or twice a day. Whatever works for you, experiment with it, and that's fine. This is Metamucil brand. I believe that's available everywhere. I'm not loyal to that brand at all. Just get psyllium husk or psyllium husk powder and you'll be good to go. This one, for the eagle-eyed of you, is orange flavor. Ignore it. You do not want the flavored ones. More than likely, see, there's no nutrient label on this, but from my understanding is the flavored ones will have some sugar or sugar alcohols or something in it to create the flavor. Now, I can't be sure, but then that's why you leave it alone, because you're not sure. You need to be sure about things. You can't stay in ketosis if you're slamming heaps of fiber that's got sugar in it, okay? So that's supplement number 2. And that's important, again, because if you're not feeling great on any diet, you're going to fall off the diet and you're going to fail. And this was a big thing for me that almost pushed me off the diet, okay? So very important. Number 3. All right. Simple one. A multivitamin. When you're in a keto diet, you're cutting out a huge amount of different types of food for whatever period you're going to be on the keto diet. When you do that, you're going to lose a lot of the source of nutrients, the vitamins and the minerals and the electrolytes and so forth that you would normally get from those foods that you eat. You've got to top those up. So a good quality multivitamin is absolutely the way to go. If you start being deficient in various different types of vitamins and minerals, your body's not going to function right. You'll probably feel pretty crap. And again, you're going to fall off the diet. All right. So this is not something that's going to help you just sit on the couch watching TV all day and the fat's just going to be dripping off you. That's not what this is about. This is about keeping you guys on the keto diet so you're happy and you can see it through and stick it out and be quite comfortable doing so. This brand is Synovus. It's Men's Multi-Performance, once daily. Now, when I started out, I took 2 a day. Okay, you don't need to, but that's it there. It's just one of those a day. That's quite fine. You don't need to have any more than that. I'm also not loyal to this particular brand. I don't even know if Synovus is available outside of Australia, but just get any decent multivitamin. Go to your chemist or your pharmacy, ask the people at the counter if they can help direct you to one that's worthwhile, and they'll certainly be able to help you do that. So guys, very important multivitamin is number 3. Number 4, okay, omega-3 fatty acids. The omega-3 fatty acids, that's a type of fat that your body just can't synthesize. It can't make itself like the other ones. So your omega-6 and your omega-9, which is your polyunsaturates, your monounsaturates, and your saturated fat, your body can synthesize that, and you get a lot of that from the diet anyway. So the omega-3 fatty acids, if you eat a lot of fish, you'll probably get a reasonable amount of it. If you don't eat a lot of fish, you'll most likely need to supplement with fish oil. This is what I use. You can use flaxseed oil as well, but it typically comes just as an oil. You've got to pour it into a cup and drink it, and it doesn't taste good, guys. Some of you might like it. I have a hard time getting it down, so I just take the pills. Now, a thing with these, this is Swiss brand. I believe that's a worldwide brand. I'm not loyal to these guys. At the end of the day, I just get what's on special, what's cheapest. Yeah. Now, a point with these that I want to bring up is that it's got fish oil, 1,000 milligrams, 1 gram. Now, a long time ago, before I wisened up and understood and someone pointed me in the right direction, I thought that the 1,000 milligrams meant that it's got the 1,000 milligrams or a gram of omega-3 fatty acids in it. And so I would take 2 or 3 a day, because you need at least 2 grams a day of this stuff for proper health and bodily functioning, right? So I would take 2 or 3 a day, thinking that was fine. And then I actually read the container, or I think someone mentioned something on the forums saying that maybe only about a third of it, 300 milligrams, was actually the omega-3 fatty acids, which was a bit of a surprise. So all of a sudden, I went from having to take 2 of these to taking 6 to get in the 2 grams that I needed. Now, I actually take 8 a day as it stands. I don't split them up. I just take them all at once. Now, the trick with doing this, and guys, again, this is important. This is specifically, you won't necessarily feel a specific benefit from taking these, but they do so much for you, and there's a lot of science behind it. If we just look, I mean, I've read enough about it to know that what's on the back of this container is correct. So it'll help with heart and cardiovascular health, brain and nervous system health, eye health, anti-inflammatory and joint health. That's a big one, especially if you're like me and you've been in and out of the gym for a number of years and you're just getting older. That's a big one. Healthy mood balance and support during pregnancy and breastfeeding. I can't speak personally about that. Children's development support. Guys, it's fantastic. You should absolutely supplement with those regardless of what diet you're on, even if you're on a diet or not. When I was younger, I used to have trouble getting one of these down, and probably a lot of you do, and I'm going to give you a bit of a tip here. I'm not quite sure why, but I just resist swallowing it when I was having it with water. And then I thought, well, sometimes if I'm eating food that I really, really enjoy, I can pile masses of it into my mouth, give it 3 chews, and swallow the whole lot down with just no fear and no problem. So what's the difference? You know, why am I doing that? I don't know exactly why, but I thought rather than focus on the pill or the tablet, I'm going to focus on pouring myself a big cup of water and just commit to drinking that cup of water as quickly as I could. When I tried doing that, I didn't even feel the pill go down. Or I might have just felt it, but you know, if it went down, great. If it didn't go down, well, it didn't go down. If it got stuck halfway, I was just going to keep piling water down on top of it. And I drank it, the whole cup, as quickly as I could, and it went down. And I hardly ever felt it. Next day, I tried it with 2. Okay? Next day, I tried it with 3. And then I found that it was just a confidence thing, and I could do it with less and less water until I got to a point where, you know, I can take, what have I got here? 8 fish oil tablets and a multivitamin. Okay, that's 9. Let's see how this goes. All right. Guys, you can train yourself to do it, okay? So don't worry about having to take 9 pills, got to take 9 tablets, or whatever it might be that you choose to take. You can train yourself to do that. I used to hate it. I used to cough one back up, even when they were half the size of this. Approach it with the same way I did. Try and drink that water down as quickly as you can, and you'll learn to do it quite easily and quite well. On to the last one, number 5, supplement number 5. Now, this is one that is actually going to assist with your fat burning to a degree. Oh, sorry, bumping the mic. And this particular one is called carnitine. Okay, now I choose this for a specific reason. Number 1, because there is some science behind it, which I'm going to talk to you about in just a moment, and also because it's available pretty much right around the world. So there are going to be some other supplements out there that you might be able to get, probably typically in North America, maybe not Canada, but especially in the US, you've got access to a lot of things that we, especially in Australia, don't have access to. New Zealand's probably very similar to Australia with all the restrictions they've got, and I would say England and Europe's probably similar as well. But in America, North America, you've got access to a lot of other things. I get that, but I recommend carnitine, or a form of carnitine, specifically because it's available almost everywhere. So I just mentioned that there was a form of carnitine, different forms of it. So what carnitine actually does is it helps your body and the cells in your body utilize the fat that's in your bloodstream, the triglycerides and the fatty acids, it helps them utilize that to burn as energy. So if it can do that more effectively and more efficiently, that's good for your weight loss, right? Now, I'm simplifying that massively, but what we're going to do is have a look at a study here. Okay, so this study is about L-carnitine. Letter L with a dash and then the word carnitine. And I'll link all this below. You'll get it all below. You can check it out yourself. You can do further study. You'll see how everything's spelt. L-carnitine is the effective one for your body utilizing your fatty acids and your triglycerides as fuel to use in your cells. Okay, if you go to the pharmacy or the supermarket and you look and you find carnitine on the shelf, ignore it. Don't waste your money. You're going to be burning money. Okay, if you see L-carnitine, that's one of the good ones. The third one is acetyl L-carnitine. It's like L-carnitine, but it just works better. And it's much more effective for your brain to utilize those nutrients as well. So that's an added bonus. If you can get it, get acetyl L-carnitine. All right, that's the one I use. That's the one I'd recommend you use. Now, this study was to do with L-carnitine. So you can assume that if it's acetyl L-carnitine, it's going to work better than what these guys suggest. Now, what they did is, and again, this will be linked below so you can see it. They found a whole bunch of different studies on L-carnitine, and they reviewed them all and came to a conclusion based on those overall, and their results were, and I'll quote from the study, results from meta-analysis of eligible trials, meaning that they had to be proper, scientifically, formally conducted trials, not anything done in people's backyard on YouTube, right? Results from meta-analysis of eligible trials revealed that subjects who received carnitine lost, and they're talking about L-carnitine here specifically, lost significantly more weight and showed a decrease in body mass index compared with the control group. There you have it. That's on the NCBI or PubMed website. Okay, again, I'll link it below for you guys. You can check that out yourself. Now, a couple of things I'm going to say here. This is probably the one, if there's going to be any of these supplements I've mentioned, this is going to be the one that's going to allow you to help accelerate your fat loss directly, okay? When I do research on these sorts of things, I try and look at all sides. I did see a paper recently that was put up on the same website where they did a study on rats with L-carnitine, put them all on a diet, put half of them on the L-carnitine and the other half didn't have anything. They didn't see a huge difference between either group, okay, which would lead you to believe, well, does the L-carnitine actually work? I would say that this particular test, this took into account 9 different studies on humans and came to the conclusion that there was a statistical significance that it does work on humans. The test on rats, well, it was on rats, and rats are one of the closest things we can get to mimicking how a human would respond to things, but they are still rats, okay? So if you want to take something, I would take the acetyl L-carnitine. The second point I was going to suggest is that, guys, there's no magic bullets out there, all right? If you take acetyl L-carnitine, please don't think you can sit in front of the telly eating whatever you want, even if it's keto food, and the fat's just somehow going to magically melt off you. The acetyl L-carnitine is simply the cherry on top, okay? It's the icing on the cake when you've got all your other ducks in a row and you're doing the keto diet properly. If anyone tries to tell you at any time that there's some kind of magic bullet substance that you can take and you can just smash ice cream all day and the fat's still going to melt off you, you know, all these stupid ads that you see in the sidebars of websites and you know, and at the bottom of your YouTube video and that sort of thing that tell you can lose all those 10 pounds of belly fat in 3 days. They're just trying to sell you something, guys. They're just trying to take your money, essentially probably lie to you in many cases, and just realize there's no magic bullets out there. It's approaching your diet correctly with what you eat, having all these other supplements and so forth that will ultimately benefit you and help you to stay on that diet. And yeah, take some carnitine. There are some things out there that will help to some degree. But it's you sticking to the diet. It's you being happy on the diet. It's you seeing it through so that you get the results over time, and that's really what's going to do it. So if we quickly recap, okay, top 5 supplements that I use and that I would recommend everyone else uses to stay on your keto diet and get the most out of it, to get the best result, is number 1, top up your electrolytes, okay? So that's your potassium and sodium and magnesium are the primary ones, and perhaps calcium. But if you're getting a lot of, cheese and so forth in the keto diet, then the calcium's potentially taken care of. Number 2 is fiber, all right? Psyllium husk or psyllium husk powder, just not the flavored ones, okay, guys? Number 3 is a multivitamin, good quality multivitamin. Number 4, omega-3 fatty acids, okay? Remember the trick. Just smash that water down, guys. Take as many tablets as you want, smash that water down, and you'll be good to go. And number 5, apologies guys, I don't have any of it here with me today. I've finished mine, is the acetyl L-carnitine. And again, I'll link that below so that you guys can check it out and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So, do you guys have any things that you like to take that are a bit of a game changer for you when it comes to fat loss and being on the keto diet? I'd love to hear what your experience is and, any stories you have to tell in that regard, what you found. Please join the conversation below. If you do have any specific questions for me, you can put your questions below or click the link in the information section below. It'll take you to my website where you can forward a question to me directly. I can put that question into a video just like this one if you'd like me to. So again, guys, thanks for watching all the way through. I appreciate you and the time you've given me. I'm Mark from KetoKitchenCollection.com, and I'll see you guys on the next one.